I started off as a wire worker and have slowly over time incorporated other materials into the wire working. My collecting probably started when I was very small. I can remember the first time I started collecting anything, and that was when I lived in Spain. I used to go up into the hills and you could find quartz crystals. After that it moved on to fossils, and if I went to a beach it was shells. My prized possession was I once found a crotal bell, and that would have been on a horse's rein. I think it's 16th century I had it aged at. That just sparked my interest. It's the finding. I love finding things. I've been collecting all these things and keeping them in jars. A lot of the time I do like to look at them. They didn't really have much more use, so I wanted to start incorporating them into my work. When I was at college, I started using these lovely bits of driftwood and shells. I would embed them in resin or wire them together and try and make objects out of them. And that's just sort of continued in my collecting from antiques fairs and markets and even charity shops. I really love to find those pieces and try and find another use for them. Using wire was a bit like drawing for me, but as soon as I had wire, I could envisage what I was doing. With wire, I can actually see three-dimensional forms and see how to make them. I find that I get my personality and character into those creatures by using the wire. There's very much an ephemeral feel to a lot of paper, particularly vintage papers. There's a fibril difference, the colours, the dyes and inks they used. There was more quality and time and effort put into what they produced. I go to Hay-on-Wye to find my books. I think it's got the highest concentration of bookshops in one place in the whole of the UK, even Europe. Quite a few of the bookshops, if they have books that are no longer in a good saleable condition, they often donate those to the Honesty Bookshop. I know a lot of people look at it as a shame to rip up a book, but then if half the pages are missing or the covers are missing, a lot of these things, people don't want them anymore and they see no use in them. I like to try and use those scraps as much as possible. A lot of the books I actually pick up and I like to use are dictionaries. And a lot of that probably is to do with my love of wordplay. I do like to have a few puns in there. But using a dictionary, you find the odd word which can give the creature that I'm making character. I like hunting for things. If I could spend most of my time searching for things, I would. Some of the pieces I find, I straight away have the inspiration what I'm going to make with it. As soon as I come back to the shed, it stays on my desk. Or it gets put away in a box and I've got lots and lots of boxes. Some of those things in those boxes have been there for 15 years. I really hope that people who bought my work bought it for their own enjoyment. Hopefully they see the playful side of me in there and the fact that toys are not just toys for children. You need to have toys for grown-ups. I think as time goes by, people are pushed towards adulthood as a thing that this is the point where you get a job, you get your house, you get your family. People lose a playfulness, which actually they find again when they retire. They suddenly find hobbies, and a lot of those hobbies would be things that possibly you did when you were a child. Painting, or sewing. And I think people kind of forget about them during the middle years, and that seems an awful long time to forget all the enjoyable things in life. I think you only age because you think you have to. To age the best way is to continue playing.